Everybody, welcome back to the Boomer Backfield podcast. We're glad that you're here. We got some new microphones today, which is pretty cool. So another experiment, as we always seem to be doing. Anyways, we're excited. We have a good episode for you today. We're going to talk a little bit about softball rankings, which we kind of got shafted in. I don't know why we're 3 when we won the Natty 4 straight years. I'm sorry. OU hoops, and then our players' superlatives, and of course our favorite comments on comments. My name is Colby.
My name is Spencer.
And I'm Kylan.
So yeah, let's dive right into it. But before we do, make sure you follow us, like and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts, and do social media because we're posting literally every single day. I get comments about how people are annoyed by how much we post. So do you want to hear about
how do I stop seeing this?
How do I stop seeing this concept? That was actually one of our anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So let's dive into it. Preseason OU softball rankings. NCAA, what are we doing here? Rank 3?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Why? We've won 4 straight.
I understand it.
I don't.
Because we've lost. That entire team that went 4 straight, they're gone.
They're gone.
They're gone. That's a lot of softball. It's like Sam's football. I feel like if you have experience, that equals championships. And those girls had played 4 straight years. Most of those girls, if you were a senior and you walked out last year, you had at least 3 weeks. If you had been here, which is crazy. And those players that left were such like staple pieces of this team. So I get the 3 because Texas and Florida retained a lot. Like Texas brought back literally the AP whatever player of the year, like their catcher. She's insane. So I get that, but I think it's a mistake because I think it's just another reason to fire the OU softball girls up, which is probably the worst thing you could ever do because we're gross. I don't think there's going to be a significant drop-off. If we don't go 5 straight, it'll be like, all right, I understand why. But if we do, I will also understand why. Because Patty, she needs a statue. I mean, she has a statue. So
I guess she does have a statue.
It makes sense, but no. I don't know. I get it, but I don't at the same time.
Yeah, I'll read off the rankings. The NCAA had Texas 1, Florida 2, Oklahoma 3. Flow softball had Texas 1, Oklahoma 2, Florida 3. And Softball America had Florida 1, Texas 2, Oklahoma 3. There's not a poll where Oklahoma's ranked number 1. Oklahoma's currently on a streak of 4 national titles in a row. And they just signed the number 1 recruiting class in the country. They've done that multiple years in a row now. And the last time a team that wasn't the Oklahoma Sooners won the national championship, it was UCLA, who beat Oklahoma in the final series on June 5th, 2019. 2,066 days ago, 5 years, 8 months. I just think you can say that there is a talent gap, a retention gap between the 2 teams. The greatest class to ever live in softball just graduated from OU softball. Kinsey Hansen, Jada Coleman, and more. You know all the names. So I understand there's a retention issue just with graduation at OU, but like the players coming in to back them, are the replacements are just as good, if not. I mean, that class was not. Was not as highly touted as the classes that are coming in from high school. So it's just, to me, I think it's just trying to get some narrative that there is some competition. Honestly, I don't think there really would be any reason to rank Oklahoma number 1 from a true standpoint, in my opinion, because if you're gonna, I guarantee you Vegas, if they did softball kind of stuff, would have Oklahoma favored to win the national title.
Yeah.
I think media people just kind of want to go out and push something different.
Yeah.
I don't think and again, like you just said, I think there's nothing worse you can tell freshmen and sophomores. If you're Patty Gasso, there's nothing worse than telling freshmen and sophomore players, yeah, you're guaranteed to win the national title this year. You're ranked number 1. Everybody thinks you're going to win it. You're guaranteed to win it. Because that's when freshmen and sophomores think they're entitled to it.
Yeah.
Now they don't think they're entitled to it. Now they think they have to go earn it, and that's what Patty Gasso wants.
Yeah.
In my mind, there's no reason that they shouldn't be number one. I don't think that this is a guaranteed national title. I mean, literally last season, it was like
struggle.
we had to grind through it, and every year we do. But I mean, I'm putting my money on Patty Gasso to get through that gauntlet that it is.
Yeah, it's a good thing. It's a good thing they aren't ranked number one, because what's going to happen is they're going to win the Natty anyways, and it'll make for a good story. But it's just so crazy. I don't know why they wouldn't be ranked number one.
Yeah,
it has to be the narrative thing. It's just like,
to me, it is.
It's just every year. It's like back in the days when Bama was stomping everybody. They put Ohio State at one, or sometimes someone's like, Bama's going to win. Like, why are you doing this?
Why not?
Yeah.
And to me, it's the same. It's also like the same as like SMU over Alabama.
Yeah.
It's like everyone knows if you put them on the same field, they're gonna get crushed.
Yeah.
But and it's also like last year when we were playing in kind of mid-season, Texas was ranked number one and we were ranked number two. It's like, come on, that we're gonna go down there and probably sweep them. I think we beat them 2-1 over the weekend, but it's just not even. I don't know. If this happened in any other sport, a 4-in-a-row national champion plus number one recruiting classes all throughout those 4 national titles,
plus best record passes.
yeah.
Like,
It just wouldn't be even close. It wouldn't even be close. So
it's not even logical.
It's not logical
at all.
Yeah.
Anyway, see what happens. Honestly, I'm excited. I'm excited to see.
Yeah,
we got sophomores, dude. Cassie Pickering, Ella Parker, dogs, transfers. Like, we literally went out and got the girl at Louisiana, Sam Landry, who beat us like opening weekend. And we said, "Hey, you're gonna come to our school now." Said, okay, when do I sign?
Yeah,
like, come on, that's pure dominance.
Yeah, we're gonna steamroll everybody.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine like going to, I don't know, Tennessee and just being able to say, "Yeah, your best player, ours, James Pierce."
Yeah,
we'll have him.
Yeah.
Like, that level of dominance is just insane.
I can't wait for the season, man. It's so exciting to like a sport that is going to do good.
Yeah.
Like, like I can root for OU softball. I know, okay, we actually have a chance of winning Natty. That doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Any other sport that we have on campus. This is the most exciting team on campus, easy by far.
And gymnastics.
Yeah. It's so fun to watch.
One thing I wanted to talk about before we go to basketball is softball, instead of starting their season in a tournament in like, what is it, the Bahamas, or
they play somewhere like,
it's somewhere like super nice. You go to a tournament, you get treated nice for a week, and you play a bunch of games. Instead of doing that, OU softball is kind of going on a tour of a bunch of California schools that are like mid-major kind of schools, and visiting their programs, and essentially just to help flow money into those schools that are going to get left behind in the age of conference realignment and NIL and all those kind of things. And Patty Gasso came out and said, like, that was the intention. The intention was to support mid-majors, support smaller schools that are going to get left behind this time.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. It's really cool, especially with the platform they have. I mean, the dominance that they have right now. They could go and do anything they want, and they're doing that. So
it's pretty cool. They're playing my old school where I used to play baseball at in LA. Pretty cool stuff. Yeah, so into OU hoops. Man, that was a tough loss against the Aggies. Can't seem to get past them. I don't know what it is. But we didn't look terrible. I mean, we lost by, I think, 7.
Well, what's crazy, we looked terrible. We looked absolutely terrible, but
468.
we lost by 7.
So we lost by 7. Yeah, lost by 7 at their place.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have a lot of belief in this team. You see a score like that, 7 points at their place. I don't know. I think that we.
Yeah. So
that's
with that game, what is interesting, and I guess you could look at this in a positive light, maybe, is we played awful.
Yeah.
They had more offensive rebounds than we had rebounds. They out-rebounded us by 21 rebounds.
47.
Our best player, our lottery draft pick, had 0 points and 2 turnovers in 19 minutes, meaning we tried to get him going.
Half a game.
Didn't go. It was just brutal and ugly. And the only reason I think we were in the game really was Jalen Moore and Bryson Goodine just went off. Bryson Goodine hates Texas A&M.
Just bang, bang, every
Do
time.
you look at his game log? 5 points, 3 points, 2 points, 26 points. Texas A&M, 5 points, 3 points, 32 points. Texas A&M. Like, it's just ridiculous. But yeah, what's interesting with this game is we played our worst basketball that we could possibly play on the road. A&M, it's a top 15 team, and we come away with a 7-point loss.
Yeah.
And it's just like, should we be dealing with our worst game of the season in mid-season in conference play? No. But you can absolutely see a world where this team puts it together and gets a home win versus Tennessee.
Yeah.
Gets a road win versus LSU. You can see those kind of things happening. And the Arkansas win was promising as well. I mean, it was closer than it should have been.
Yeah.
With a team that's just absolutely falling apart. But it was closer than it. I mean, I was happy with it though.
It's a win.
It's a win.
Yeah.
It's absolutely a win. It's a road win in the SEC.
This one was crazy. 68% of points were scored by Jalen Moore.
Yeah.
68.
2/3
of that sheet.
Yeah.
It's like 22 Jalen Moore. Bryson Goodine, 24. It's 5, 4, 3, 0, 2, 1.
God,
It's rough.
And it's just like,
They just absolutely went bonkers.
literally, if like one other guy puts up double figures, they win.
And that's where enter the Jeremiah Fears discussion, because, you know, you can't. I get the idea. He's a kid. He's a freshman. But at the same time, if you are projected to be that lottery pick guy, we give you the keys to the program. You have that aura about you preseason. And now the conference play comes and you're just not playing up to the expectations. And it's also like, again, like you just said, we just needed one more guy to get us over the hump. And we just didn't have Jeremiah Fears. And it's not like I'm going to put all the blame on some freshman kid, but, it's this inconsistency from him that's costing us games. And that's just how it is.
Yeah.
I don't want to blame it on one person. It's not one person's fault. There's way more good guys in the team, but it's unfortunate because we have put the weight of OU basketball kind of onto his shoulders, and he hasn't done what Trae Young or Buddy Hield does. He hasn't gone to Kansas and beat Kansas on the road like Buddy Hield did. He hasn't had that kind of night yet. So
yeah, interesting. Well, here's something crazy. 9 out of our next 10 games are ranked games. 4 straight, a break against LSU at home, 5 straight.
Yeah.
And then Texas on the road.
And both those unranked teams are really good.
So,
yeah,
man, we talk about putting it together. Like, can we eliminate the costly mistakes of having less rebounds than they have offensive rebounds? Yeah. Can we get Jeremiah Fears to be just somewhat consistent with scoring? Well, that's going to happen by Saturday, because starting Saturday, we have ranked Vanderbilt, at Auburn, Tennessee, Mizzou. That's 4 straight ranked games. Like, we are about to go through the gauntlet of gauntlets, and they're going to have to put it together completely. I mean, literally starting this week. And like I said last week, or a couple weeks ago, I was like, if we can beat South Carolina and Arkansas, that's going to put us in a good spot. Because even if we lose to A&M, we're still in a place now where that's not going to kill us. And, if we're on the bubble, right? And they're not going to be able to say, well, you lost to Arkansas and you lost to South Carolina. So we need to win those games. Obviously have to win LSU, have to win Texas on the road, those unranked games. And if we can just squeeze out a couple more ranked wins, I mean, we're in,
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like, I hate to put all the pressure, again, like I remember saying just a few games ago, we were like, this game is so important. This is like a season decider. I'm going to say it again. The Vanderbilt home game, it's a must win. If you can't go out and get a top 25 win at home, you're not going to go do it at Auburn. You're not going to go do it, at these places that are just super tough to play.
Yeah.
And another reason why it's so important, the Joe Lunardi bracketology, the most reliable bracketology you can find, has us 7 spots away from falling out of the bubble and being out of March Madness, right? So our resume so far is just there, a lot because of our non-conference really helped us, but our conference resume is just ticking us down. And it's games like these where it makes a big case for that we shouldn't be in, or that we should be in. So I think we got to go out and get this Vanderbilt win this weekend. I'm excited to watch it, honestly, but
it is a must win.
It's a must win. It really is.
It really is, because it's not going to get easier than Vanderbilt for the rest of the season.
No, really.
Like you have, I mean, Vanderbilt's ranked 24th, right? The following Tuesday, you're at Auburn, number 1. Then you have Tennessee at home, number 8. Then you have at Missouri. Like, it's just
doesn't get
this Vanderbilt game is probably the easiest SEC game we have left on our schedule.
Yeah,
and it's at home. You gotta win this game. Have to,
dude. I mean, this is not even. I was gonna switch to OU women's basketball, thinking about like they can somehow put it together. They have a bad game, and then they just like lock in. Like tonight, they're playing LSU. LSU's 21-1. They got killed by South Carolina like a week or 2 ago, or whatever that was. God. They lost by 50. What is that?
41. They lost by 41.
Don't get me wrong, South Carolina's gross. Like, they are ridiculous. But then it's just like Jenny B can, I don't know, she just has a way of, hey, they might have the worst stat line, whatever, but like the rest of the game will take care of itself. Like, they can figure out ways to get around that. If whoever, Peyton Gerhardt, doesn't score, she's not going to go out there and drop 0. Like, that just doesn't happen over there. It's just like, and obviously she's not a freshman, but it's just crazy to me that you can have 2 teams that play in the same building, having 2 opposite seasons. But I mean, I'll be the first one to say it, dude. I don't watch enough girls basketball. It's just like,
I don't. I'll admit it.
Like,
I need to lock in.
I need to lock in because they're gross. They're 16-4. Like, I need to. Like, this LSU game, I might turn it on.
Why is it that our women's sports are so much more dominant than our men's sports? It's not even close.
Like, we might be women's sports at the moment.
Softball, basketball. Like, who knows what soccer's doing? They're probably unbelievable.
We're up there with like UCLA and like, UCLA with like best women's sports overall.
That's so crazy
in the nation. Definitely need to turn them on. I turned on the South Carolina game.
Yeah,
and
I probably should have done that.
Probably should have done that one.
It was Malaysia Full Wiley. I don't know if y'all ever seen her hoop, bro. She hoops. She would cook. I think she could start for.
Oh yeah,
like they're throwing like lobs to her. She can't even dunk, but like it looks tough.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Dude, we need Audi Crooks from Iowa State
to
play our center instead of Sam Godwin. I'm telling you,
she's a demon.
We need a post, and she would do the job.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? Yeah, women's sports, man. Dude, they just absolutely crush.
We're dominant.
Absolutely,
we're dominant.
Yeah,
it's kind of crazy. Anyways, we need to watch more women's basketball.
That's soon it.
I watched the South Carolina game. That kind of.
That's what he's like. Maybe I should.
I was like, I can't watch this anymore.
8-8.
I turned it off. I literally turned it off.
On Twitter, people were just hating like, this team sucks. I'm like, dude, you don't. Like, we're playing against the Monstars. Like, South Carolina. And the stadium was shaking the women's basketball game. I was like, you can't, don't hate these girls. They're, they have a great record.
Like, well, just like play at OU softball.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't even, you can't compete.
Yeah.
You just pray that they get knocked out in March Madness before we play.
Don't judge the season based on playing on the road versus the best team in
10 McDonald's All-Americans.
Yeah. Yeah, they probably had privately trained lessons with MJ back at this private court. So, anyways, we're going to move on to our players' birthdays.
Let's go.
This is our next series. We have like a 3 or 4 week series where we're going through our superlatives of the season, and we'll rock it into the next one. So, first up, best game of the season. Who'd you guys pick? We probably all had the same one.
It's going to be all the same one for this one.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Kyle's going to have some crazy. He's different.
Dude, he's
I didn't mean to cook you in the ball. It's Alabama. Alabama's the best game of the season.
I said Auburn.
Oh my God. Michael Hawkins flipped it in.
No.
Wow.
Wow. Listen, guys, when have I ever picked? And then once you hear my explanation, you're usually like, okay.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
okay, but listen. Hear me out. It's a close. Alabama and Auburn, they're close because I almost put down Alabama, but then I started to realize I started to lose interest in that game because it was so dominant at one point.
That is true.
But that Auburn game, you remember, we were like, dude, we're cooked. And
it was pain.
It was pain, and then all of a sudden, this was us. And then all of a sudden, our heads rose up.
Yeah.
We said, oh, we're gonna do it. I'm saying there was more excitement that came out of that game Alabama was just so dominant, and it was like, why is this not?
Listen,
I thought
Go ahead.
What's he gonna say?
when was the last time OU's field was rushed?
That's fair. No, I agree. I don't disagree with y'all picking. I'm not trying to argue it. I'm just saying, I'm just saying, my best game, the game I had was like the most exciting, best game.
Maybe
was
the best game of the season, I would say, was no doubt Alabama. But I can agree that the most entertaining game may have been Auburn, especially being there. I kid you not, beginning of the fourth quarter, I was thinking about my bus ride home. I was thinking about like how much.
We're thinking about cookout.
I was thinking about cookout.
We were literally like, we're gonna get cookout.
We're gonna get cookout. I was thinking about like how much it's gonna suck, but I'm gonna enjoy the food. Hopefully they have good food. Like all that. I was thinking all those thoughts.
Yeah.
I was thinking that we suck. We're 3-2.
Yep.
I hate my life.
Yep.
And then so I say that it's the most exciting game, best game. Come on.
Best game is
Okay.
Bama.
Okay, that's fair.
I
That's
think
fair. That's fair.
I will say being in the stadium at Auburn,
Was cool.
it was awesome.
Yeah.
But dude, I remember the whole game. I was just like, we suck. We're terrible. Fourth quarter, especially because Peyton Thorne turned into Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
Like he was horrible all year.
Yeah.
And then went ballistic against us.
Yeah.
He was throwing dot after dot after dot.
running.
No picks the whole game
Except for one.
except for one,
There's only
which we'll talk about later.
but there's nothing better than being at the road on like a road environment and winning.
Dude,
That's the best experience. Is like, especially the fans start piling out, but you're staying because you're like, my team just won, and then your team comes over and like cheers with the away crowd. Oh man, that's
awesome.
It's a great feeling.
There is this, before we leave this, I want to talk about this one guy at Auburn. So Auburn fans, for the most part, were actually pretty nice. The worst fans were Ole Miss. Easily. But Auburn, they were really nice. There was this one guy that came up to us and he was like, hey, like if you don't mind, can you stop cussing? Like there's kids here. We weren't cussing. There was actually a guy next to us spazzing, literally cried, his face is red, screaming, don't, losing his mind. And so he's looking at us like, it's not us. But at the same time, I was thinking, I was like, we're not being the problem, but you cannot go to a SEC football game and not expect a young guy to be crashing out. Like you just can't expect that. But
Do you remember?
he was losing his mind.
So the press box is like, we were sitting in this corner and you have to look like this over here. And I remember at one point, Seth Luttrell ran a dumbest play, double bird, just Luttrell, like, I mean, F-bomb. And I was just like, bro, he can't even see you. But no, he was spazzing. It was the funniest.
Well, the thing is, he bet on the game. And so that's why he was, and I think he had quite a bit of money on the game because he was losing his mind
from the jump.
Yeah, like literally right off the first play. When Michael Hawkins scored a touchdown, the dude was losing his mind. So anyways, that was a lot of fun. Anyways, moving on.
Oh, dude.
Most memorable play. I don't know if we all have the same one.
I like this one.
I think
We might have different ones.
okay.
I think I have different. I definitely have a different one. I went a little bit negative on this one. Kind of like a
Go ahead.
pessimistic.
I think I might know what you're gonna do.
Mine was because this, and the only
Maybe.
reason it's so memorable is because it's burned into my mind.
I think
I was the Tennessee game. I'm on the field, and I'm in like the south. What would that be?
That's not what I think it was.
South. Let me do my direction. Come on. The southeast corner, and we are like, it's still a close game, and I can vision the student section. Like I'm watching from across the field, the student section going just bonkers, and I was just like kind of just soaking it in. Like this is the coolest thing I've ever witnessed in my life. And Jackson Arnold snaps the ball, I think a little jog right, throws it to like an empty patch of the field. There's nothing. Tennessee player just runs over, snags it. Like it was just nothing. And I just remember like watching it and I was like, what in the world did I just watch?
Yeah.
And I remember after that, the next drive, in goes Michael. And I had never seen Michael start. And I was like, what in the world? Like my mind set on the entire season shifted in that moment when Jackson Arnold threw that pick.
Yeah.
I literally just like, it's so burned in my mind that exact moment of just like, it was just a free ball. Like he just threw it at the, it was the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life.
He did not belong here.
Yeah.
I'm glad he's gone. I wish him luck, but God, he did not belong here. Get the heck out of here.
It was great.
I'm so happy you're gone, JA. And I can't wait to spank you when you come back here to play. It's just terrible.
Oh, man, that's going to be a fun game.
Dude, he just was not built for it at
Mhm.
all. Not one single bit. Anyways, you can blame it on Latrell, or you can just blame it on him. And I'm blaming it on him, and both. Anyways, you want to go ahead? What's your most memorable play?
I think it's got to be Kip Lewis picks it.
That's what I
Right.
put. Yeah.
When Spencer said negative, I thought he was going to say Bauer Sharp. That's
Oh,
what
I was
thought.
going to say the Mizzou fumble.
Oh, no.
I
I
think
think
fumbled out.
that's up there. That's up
The,
there.
the last JA fumble was
We'll get to that one. We'll get to that.
That's coming.
Yeah, just true.
Probably coming the next
Just
couple
trust.
series.
But yeah, it had to be in Kip 6. That was because it won us the game. It literally won us the game.
Yeah.
I probably the most.
Yep.
I've screamed for OU football. That was like the last time I screamed really hard for OU.
Yeah. Dude, I remember that. Well, that drive was scary because Auburn was just pounding us the whole game on offense. Like, Payton was tearing it up. And we were up, I think, 3. We were up, but if they were going to tie it or score something, basically, if they scored on the drive, the game was going to be kind of over. That's what I thought in my mind. And they started moving the ball. Like, we kicked it off. Auburn started moving the ball. And then you just see
Oh, it had to have been down though.
we had to have been down. It was something like, I thought if they scored
in that to end the game, did we kick a field goal?
No, Schmidt hit one, and then Michael.
So was it what 20 to?
Dude, I don't know. It was
I can
months ago.
I don't know.
Regardless, though, I remember thinking on this drive, if they score, they're going to win the game. If it's a field goal or not, that was in my mind. And we had no momentum. Defense could not figure it out whatsoever all game. It seemed like, and then just out of nowhere, you see Kip snag it, and like you kind of like hesitate. It's like one of those things that kind of shocks you. You're like, did that just happen? And you start seeing him running, and then everybody just goes silent. And our section just goes crazy.
Best part about away games. Yeah.
And as he starts to run down the sideline, like, I thought, is somebody going to catch up to him? He gets hit, but he fumbles away into the end zone, and we just lost it. Absolutely lost it. And all the fans around us just nothing. And the OU Stadium section is going crazy.
Best part, because you're like, I don't know if you guys, obviously you guys have probably went to OU, probably experienced something similar. But when stuff like that happens, you like black out.
Yeah.
You'll start hitting people that you don't even know.
Yeah.
You're just doing backflips, cartwheels, doesn't even matter. But it's literally like most people fall. Like I have fallen off the bridge to like jumping.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I have those.
Yeah, I was, that was like a blackout moment
Yeah.
where it's just, I see it in pieces, like frames.
It's like, whoa. I remember Cam Coleman, the Auburn freshman. That was who like tackled Kip in the end zone. And I was like, oh, he's hocking him down.
Yeah.
He was going to track.
Oh, but that's, yeah.
And then he like, it was almost like horse collar because he like pulled him down.
Yeah.
And he just like thrown off.
He fell in.
Oh,
God, dude, it was so memorable.
Dude.
I won't forget that. And then he ran over.
So it was 20-13 because we scored. And then I think that's when Michael Hawkins, is that not 2-point conversion? When he does the flip? Because that way it's 21-20 because that was final.
I can tell you, dude. My memory is so bad.
Yeah.
I forget.
but-
I just remember moments.
Oh, I remember after he fell in, he ran over to our section.
Yeah.
And all the OU players
Yeah.
going crazy. It was so much fun, dude. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's I won't forget that. I won't forget that memory.
Yeah.
All right, moving along. The game we should have won. I'll go first.
Go ahead.
I was between two games in particular. So I'll just give you both of them. It was between Mizzou and Tennessee. I'm saving Mizzou for another superlative. So I'm going with Tennessee. Tennessee was, you had it all lined up for you at OU. You know, you could go start out 4-0, be the top, I think they were 15 at the time. Were they 10 maybe?
They're top 10.
Yeah, we were 14 or so.
So they're whatever they were.
They're above us.
So you have a chance to win your first SEC game ever at home. Game days on campus. The stadium is going berserk. Literally, we had pom-poms. Like, we never had that. The stadium was the loudest it's ever been. And in fact, it was actually the loudest stadium since Death Valley in like the last, I think, like year or 2, 3 years, something like that. Like, we had it was an insane environment. It was absolutely insane. And I don't want to blame it on one guy.
You can.
No, you can't for that game for sure.
But Jackson, like, shafted us that game. Literally shafted us. Throws a gun on the line of scrimmage. Throws a pick. Fumbles. The crazy thing is, he fumbles the ball after we get a fumble recovery on their own 5-yard line. We're literally 5 yards away, and he just runs into our lineman, falls down, fumbles. Like, he was atrocious that game. And, say what you will about Michael Hawkins. I don't think Michael Hawkins would have saved our season by no means. I do think Michael Hawkins would have won us that game because the whole vibe shift when he got back in. So it was just, that was so heartbreaking for me because I thought, man, this is like OU. We can make a statement. Like, this can be our year. Nope. Chuck Testa, we're cooked. So, yeah, Tennessee was for me.
I'll go. Mine was also between Mizzou and Tennessee. I chose Mizzou. For me, the Tennessee game. The thing is, for both, it was Jackson Arnold that sold it.
Yeah.
So that argument goes both ways.
Yeah.
I think what is different about Mizzou and Tennessee is Mizzou. One, Sooner Magic was going our way that game.
Yeah.
Sooner Magic was not going our way in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Like, when Billy Bowman scooped and scored versus Mizzou, I was like, it was destiny for us to win this game. Like, I genuinely think in my mind, like, this is just a God-given gift to me. Like, this is, as a Sooner fan, God gave me this gift. I felt that next week, first Alabama game, but that's all right. For Tennessee, though, it just felt like we were behind the whole game. We never found momentum on really either side. Defense was solid, but we never found great momentum on either side. And then after the game, Josh Heupel comes into his press interview and says, we slowed it down. We played conservative. We didn't, And so that makes me think, like, if he had really, like, turned on the Jets, I don't think the 10-point gap would have been a 10-point gap.
Yeah.
Whereas the Missouri game, I mean, we literally had the lead and we just sold it. Like, we literally could have basically ran the ball out and we just sold it. Whereas with the Tennessee game, we would have had to completely turn the momentum and, like, actually played much better than we were all game.
Yeah.
The Missouri game, we could have just played the way we were playing and won. But of course,
JA.
Of course.
Yeah, I'm right there with Spence. I picked the Missouri game. Pretty much the same reason. Like, it was a should have. The Tennessee game, we could have won, but, like, on paper, we probably shouldn't have still. But that Missouri game, and here's why I picked it, because I remember, Colby can attest to this. I already knew we were going to lose.
Yeah.
I already knew. I looked at him and I
That was
told him, I
crazy.
said, something ridiculous is about to happen. Well, and we're good.
You said that right after Billy Bowman scooped.
Yeah, because I remember.
So Kylan just,
there is a point where I stopped getting excited for things that were going to happen because bad things were going to happen to us after.
Yeah.
So Billy Bowman scoop and score. Everybody's going crazy. Oh, we're going to win. We're going to win. I look over. I said, don't even jump up and down. Don't even jump up and down. I had my girlfriend. My girlfriend's texting me. Oh my gosh, we're going to win. We're so good. I said, why are you happy? Watch this. I remember saying, watch this. Boom, there it goes.
fumble.
I mean, fumble. Or was that, no, is that when they drove down the field? DOE.
Oh, yeah.
Most
DOE.
incredible catch I've ever seen in my life.
Perfect throw.
1 foot in, drags it. He's going crazy.
But we're still up 7.
We're still up? I
We're
thought that
still-
tied it.
We are still up 7 at that point.
No, that tied it because it was 23-23. And then the fumble,
And then the fumble.
that's what put them at 30.
Yep.
So it's just like,
So they tied it up with the Theo Weiss thing,
Yeah.
and then we fumbled it.
and then
We just had to we just had
Jackson
to run the
Arnold.
ball out the game. Like, literally.
Guys,
field
I'm
goal.
sorry. I am not a
unbelievable.
hateful person, but Jackson Arnold, golly,
Yeah.
man,
I'm so happy he's gone.
he made me like the most mad I've ever
Oh,
played
yeah.
OU football. Like, I've never not liked a player as much as that.
No, that's facts. And I
As
hated
a
Landry
football player.
Jones.
As a football player.
No, yeah,
As a
yeah.
person?
As a football player.
I don't know.
Yeah, Landry Jones.
He was kind of good.
He was kind of good.
He was kinda
JA though,
just
It's different.
it's different. Worst player, OU football player I've ever seen suit up at quarterback.
worse.
Um,
All right, guys, we're running up against
yeah.
it.
Anyways, yeah, we're up the time. Worst game, we can go through it. I know these seem negative, but we're just going through. Worst game, I just put South Carolina.
Yeah,
Absolutely embarrassing.
Yeah.
Can't have. Was it 3 picks?
There's 2 picks and a
2 picks and a fumble.
in the first quarter.
The first 3 drives, 3 or 4 drives.
Yeah.
Can't happen.
Next is probably Texas.
Probably.
Yeah.
I would say South Carolina for sure, because literally, even though we sucked, and even though we sucked, I went into that game with
Hope.
a lot of confidence.
Oh, I did too. Yeah.
A lot of Vegas had us favored. ESPN had everybody had his favor. Everybody was picking us. Even I was pessimistic at this point. We're down to 2 losses. I'm pessimistic at this point.
Yeah.
Even I had us winning this game.
Yeah.
And in the first quarter, we lost. We lost the game in the first quarter. We lost the game in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Mike, dot, fumble. I mean, that was crazy. That was actually I don't think anything could have been a worse start. I genuinely don't think you could start a game worse than what Michael Hawkins did that game. I hate to say it, I'm not trying to dog Michael Hawkins, but a game start any worse than a interception, a pick six, and a fumble, scoop, and score. I just don't. You cannot come up with
21-0. It's 21-0 in the first 9 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah, you can't.
Insane.
You can't do anything about that.
We'll get back to that. Yeah.
I got it. I think we all had South Carolina.
It's just insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moving on. The most heartbreaking loss, Missouri. For me, Missouri.
Yeah.
That's why I was saving it for. Because there's obviously this rivalry between OU and Mizzou that's been around for ages. And you have, Eli Drinkwitz, Goober. There are very few people that of his caliber that I have a tolerance for. I can't be around Goobers. It just drives me crazy. I don't know how players come to play for Mizzou, quite honestly. If he was on the phone with me, I'd probably hang up. If we had a meeting, I'd be like, I don't. His outfits, just his aura, but it's negative aura.
Yeah.
I can't imagine him on a home visit, bro, with his cargo khaki shorts.
Brother? It's just it's like one of those guys that walks in the room and the vibes go down. You know what I'm saying? I just can't stand him. And then we lose to him. And in the post-game interview, he's like, well, I guess Mizzou doesn't lose to Oklahoma all the time. I'm like, dude, he's just a goo.
Where's Oralist, bro?
I'm messed up.
Bro, stuttering.
I'm sorry because I just can't.
It's totally Mizzou for me too. For me, it was seeing the coaches that entire week and that entire preseason. DeMarco, Biedenbow, all these guys that had history in this game with Mizzou, Joe John Finley, just really cared.
Yeah.
And then BV really cared about this game. And then also leading up that week, the assumption was this is our game to get into a bowl game. We didn't think we were going to go upset Alabama or LSU.
Yeah.
So everyone believed this is our shot at a bowl. This is our shot to play for the seniors. This is our shot for the seniors to play for the, it was just, we put the weight of the world in this game as a program, and it was just very disappointing. And it was also one that was really, the fans were hard to deal with that game.
Yeah, dude,
they were bad. And I have walked across the field with a camera and a tripod on my back through the student body of Kansas as they rushed the field and trying to get to the locker room. I've done the same at Oklahoma State, but for some reason, Missouri walking down the stands as they were leaving was just pure agony because I have to wear you're wearing bright red, orange, or bright red, OU red, bright red, orange. And so they're just calling you out. It was just pain.
Yeah.
It was absolute pain. That bus ride home, brutal.
Dude.
Brutal. Just depression. Straight depression.
We drove it out that night. We drove down there that day, and we drove back that night.
Then I had Tennessee. I know.
No, that's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
Because for me personally, like I mentioned, the Missouri game I already knew was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Sooner Magic, there's a certain feeling you have about Sooner Magic, and I didn't have it. It was kind of trying to disguise itself. This is Sooner Magic for you non-Sooner fans that think this is about to happen. It's not. But Tennessee, it's more of we had the chance to beat a really good team. We could have, but then it was bad. The environment was so crazy. It was just such a letdown.
Yeah.
It's like when, you have a big crowd and the team just disappoints falls below the standard. And it's just man. And then when you go back and look at it, you're like, we had chances to win the game if we just did this, if we just don't fumble the ball, if we just don't throw it behind the line of scrimmage. But yeah, I got Tennessee, but they're right there for me. Same thing. It's just losses that shouldn't have been losses. But
what makes you want to Tennessee real quick before we move on?
Yeah.
Is if we won that game, does the confidence from that win affect the rest of our season? I think it does.
Yeah.
I think if we beat Tennessee, we might go into Auburn and not win by barely.
Yeah.
I think we would have been more competitive with Texas, maybe more competitive with South Carolina. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I believe that winning big games early gives your team a lot of confidence moving forward. And that affects how you play.
I agree.
Moving on, we have one more superlative before we get into comments on comments. This is best individual game performance. We'll make this quick. I picked R. Mason Thomas at Auburn. The sacks on that last drive after the Kip 6.
It was the dagger.
It was the dagger.
Yeah.
And that was my best performance.
Yeah.
I think he was incredible.
My best individual game performance was also the same person that had the worst individual game performance, which is Michael Hawkins versus Auburn. I think that was the best performance of anybody in the entire year. Yes, Kip Lewis probably single-handedly won us that game, but Michael Hawkins put us in the game to begin with, and I give it to Mike.
Y'all are gonna kill me right here.
Okay.
Passionate.
I got Jackson Arnold versus Alabama.
I thought about that one.
Jackson Arnold, for as much as we just dogged you about 5 minutes ago, he turned up. Bro turned up. He had like 200 total yards versus Alabama, no turnovers.
Yeah.
Like the one game I thought he was gonna go crazy with the turnovers. He plays the best game of all time that he's ever played in his entire life.
That was crazy.
Like, passing yards going for 68, but 130 rushing yards. I remember he was running crazy, and I was like,
he was going crazy.
I was like, somebody stop him.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to see him do that. There's times where I didn't want him to succeed.
Just so Michael
So I could see my car come back. I wanted him to mess up. I was like, come on, fumble this. But, no, it never happened. But no, I got to give credit where credit is due.
Yeah.
I think he played like out of his mind that game.
Yeah, he did.
And he low-key carried us. Yeah, low-key carried us.
Look at us, man. We didn't even plan this. I picked your guy. You picked my guy, man.
Yeah.
Look at us. Put it here. Let's look in the camera. Yeah. Dude,
That's the thumbnail.
look at that, dude. I never would have expected that. I never would have expected that in a million years.
Dude,
I didn't even try to pick Michael Hawkins like for you. I just picked it because that was the game, man.
dude, I picked Jackson Arnold for my sake.
Yeah.
Not sure.
No.
Yeah.
Oh my.
We're having the most views on this podcast than of any other podcast I've ever had. All right, moving along. We're gonna run through this quick. Comments on comments, our favorite part of the pod.
Let's do it.
Spencer, how many do we have
We
here?
just have a couple.
Okay,
We're
let's
just
roll through
going
them. Yeah.
They're mostly about Jim Knowles. They are about Jim Knowles.
Cool.
Chef Million on TikTok.
Fire name.
Kind of fire name, actually.
Chef Million.
Says Jim Knowles will have Franklin's job in 2026, the Penn State head coach. I thought this was actually I thought this was interesting mostly because, again, Penn State just can't get over. They have an Ohio State problem. Penn State has really a top 5 problem, but really a Ohio State problem.
Yeah.
And I think Chef Million has a point. Like Jim Knowles, I think the whole hire as a whole was
It's like us.
like the same reason that,
yeah.
you keep your enemies closer, right? Get Jim Knowles in there and figure things out, right?
Yeah.
So,
Oh wait, I like that.
Yeah.
Because James Franklin has proven time and time again he can't win the big games. Why else would you pay Jim Knowles 3 point some odd million per year
Parker's money, yeah.
if maybe you don't expect him? Maybe you expect him to move up a little bit.
Oh yeah,
Something to think about.
absolutely. So
Yeah.
and I think that's the big reason Penn State shelled out the big money. I don't think Oklahoma would have shelled that out because they don't have the same incentive. I think Penn State would have won a bidding war every time because they have more incentive to get the Ohio State DC than we do.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I agree with Chef Million. I think maybe if Franklin doesn't put it together against the top 5 teams, Jim Knowles would definitely probably be the guy up next.
100%. Plus, I mean, you look at like his speech he gave to the players. Grew up a Penn State fan. He's from Philly. He was like, I'm from North Philly or whatever. Like,
yeah.
There's no bigger selling point than to go coach for the team that you grew up wanting to go to.
Yeah.
Didn't end up going there.
Yeah.
And wanted to just like your team. Like if I grew up, or if I wanted to be a football coach, and at some point I was at Texas or something, and Brent Venables called me and said, hey, I want you to come let's do it. Because to say that I can put on the crimson and cream and obviously I'm not putting on the pads and the helmet, but I can go.
You could.
I probably could. I probably could. I got eligibility left anyway. I just think there's no other greater achievement than going to that's your childhood team, going to coach for them. But for him having James Franklin's job in 26, I mean, I can see it. If James Franklin, they fire people. If you can't beat a team, you get fired. And so, and I think, Jim Knowles is the perfect guy that can kind of replace and fill that spot. So
yeah,
Chef Million, you're cooking.
The only thing about this Chef Million is that Penn State is favored to win the Big Ten. So in which case Franklin is not getting fired. Yeah. So, but we'll see if they put it together. They're always favored to win the Big Ten. They're always favored to beat Ohio State, and they never do. Yeah. So we'll see if that actually comes to fruition. But with Jim Knowles, I feel like that's a lot more of a possibility. It's the equivalent of LSU hiring Nick Saban or Alabama hiring Nick Saban from LSU as their head coach. It's just go get your rival's guy and have him come in here and teach you guys what.
Well, that's what Harbaugh did. He didn't send anybody from Ohio State that I know of, but his mission was we have to beat Ohio State. So he got all the guys to do that. Beat Ohio State, then he wins the Natty.
Was it Michigan or was it Alabama that hired when they played each other in the Rose Bowl last year? Literally in December, as the Rose Bowl was coming up, 3 weeks before, they just went out and made a hire.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy used to be an assistant linebacker coach at Alabama.
Yep. And
it's that to me, how does that not happen more often if that's allowed? I would totally go get their guy and just say, what's going on?
Yeah.
Behind closed doors. So,
yep. Moving along. I'll let you say it because you found it.
All right. Duke Steer from Sick Talk. So this was a post more about Jim Knowles' contract being so just large, such a crazy amount of money. Duke Steer doesn't get it. He said, I don't get it. He benefited big time from having a loaded roster. Not saying he's not good, but geez. Yeah, I can agree with that.
I agree with that. $3 million is crazy for an assistant coaching job.
Yeah.
Just like we talked about earlier with Jim Knowles coming here, the rumors, it's why would we pay $3 million when we have one of the best defensive coordinators as our head coach? It doesn't really make any sense. I agree. I think Jim Knowles is a fantastic DC, but when you have $20 million to spend on a roster, Zach Alley would have looked like the best DC in the world if we had $20 million. And he looked great, and we didn't. So, something to think about.
Yeah, I get it. I agree, but I kind of disagree at the same time because you look at what he was at Oklahoma State. Crazy defense. Obviously not a $20 million roster. So I think he's just a good coach overall. But trust me, having a $20 million roster will definitely enhance that because of the pieces and players that you have in the system that you run. You can find exact players to fit that exact 3-3-5, whatever they run. So I'm pretty much on board with that. We'll see what happens at Penn State. If he replicates it, then I think that argument's kind of put to bed a little bit.
Yeah, and he probably will.
Yeah,
because they have a lot of money. Clearly. Yeah. Well, anyways, that does our podcast for today. We appreciate you watching. Be sure to comment because we want to talk about you in our comments and comments. Like and subscribe. Please subscribe. Please like and subscribe.
YouTube, check us out.
It's just a click. It's a button click. We'll make it easy for you. We'll find a way to start putting some just subscribe buttons.
Yeah.
Just click where you can. It's that easy. But anyways, thanks for watching. We hope you guys have a great day, and we'll see you next Thursday. Or we can do Friday before our flight.
Yeah.
We're flying to Colorado next week.
Are we not going to do the In-N-Out episode?
Dude,
come on.
We might cook.
We might be on a hike the next time you see us.
Yeah.
We might be on the top of a mountain.
We might be holding a bear.
Next episode, we might be on top of a mountain.
Yeah, I might be boxing a bear when you see us next time. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Have a good day.
Peace.